When a little baby is left abandoned at a mall, his rescuers are shocked to discover that he was born without eyes. But it's what happens to him later that is really shocking. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. In the heart of a bustling shopping mall, amidst the hustle and bustle of shoppers and the cacophony of voices, an unimaginable event unfolded. It was a moment that would change the lives of many forever. In a small, dimly lit bathroom stall, a newborn baby lay alone, wrapped in a threadbare blanket. He was born without eyeballs, a condition so rare and perplexing that it left his mother in shock and despair. She couldn't comprehend the challenges her child would face, and in her fear and confusion, she had made the heart-wrenching decision to leave him behind. News of the abandoned baby quickly reached the mall security personnel, and it was Officer David Richardson who responded to the call. He entered the bathroom where the tiny infant's cries echoed in the sterile space. What he saw left him stunned and heartbroken, a baby boy, fragile and helpless, born without the gift of sight. In all his years in the force, he had unfortunately seen quite a few abandoned babies. But this was a first for him. He had yet to ever come across a baby born without eyes. Without a moment's hesitation, David scooped up the baby, cradling him in his arms. As he held the child, he couldn't fathom the cruelty of the world, the rejection this innocent soul had already experienced, and he knew he couldn't let the baby's future be defined by abandonment and neglect. He was going to make sure that he advocated for this child's right to a good life, one where he would be loved and taken care of. The little newborn was taken straight to the hospital to get the care he needed. The authorities were unsure whether he would need to be treated, or not being born in a bathroom was not the ideal environment for a newborn, never mind one that clearly had medical issues. After lots of testing, they found that the baby condition was, in fact, extremely rare. It was in many ways a medical anomaly that defied easy explanation. Everyone who attended to him, cared for him, couldn't help themselves from crying and grieving for the little boy. They already knew how difficult his life was going to be. It had already had such a rocky start. No child, regardless of their condition, deserves to be treated this way. In the days that followed, the hospital staff, who had grown to be his temporary family, gave him the name Ethan, a name that spoke of strength and resilience. The baby's stories resonated with the hospital staff, who provided him with the best care and support they could offer. The hospital became his temporary home and family, a place where he was nurtured and cherished despite the challenges that lay ahead. David felt a deep connection with the baby he had found. He visited Ethan every day, forming a bond that transcended the conventional role of a police officer. David's wife, Sarah, shared in his commitment to this extraordinary child. They knew that Ethan deserved a loving family who would embrace his uniqueness. They had a little girl who struggled to speak. Emma, she was on the autistic spectrum, so they knew the love and care that was needed to care for a child with special needs. They just sincerely hoped that he could find a family that would love him and provide for all his needs. This, however, was proving far more difficult than they had initially thought. As the weeks turned into months, the state's Child Protective Services worked diligently to find the suitable home for Ethan. His rare medical condition made the task more daunting, as many potential adoptive parents were wary of the challenges it would entail. When prospective adoptive parents heard that Ethan was blind, they didn't seem too worried. But when they saw Ethan with their own eyes, it seemed like the reality of the situation dawned on them a little. There was, however, one couple that didn't seem to mind too much. David and Sarah had become inseparable from Ethan's life, visiting him regularly, advocating for his needs, and offering the unwavering love and support that every child deserved. Well, their bond with Ethan deepened with each passing day, and they couldn't imagine a future without him. The day came when the hospital staff informed David and Sarah that a suitable adoptive family had been found for Ethan. The news was met with a heavy heart. They had grown to love Ethan as their own, and the thought of parting with him was agonizing. With tears in their eyes, they watched as the social workers prepared to take Ethan to his new family. They knew it was the right thing to do, but their hearts ached with the weight of loss. However, as the moment drew near, a shocking turn of events occurred. The adoptive family had a sudden change of heart. They were apprehensive about the challenges of raising a child with Ethan's condition and decided to reconsider the decision. And with the adoption plans falling through, David and Sarah knew what they had to do, something they had been playing back and forth in their minds since they had first met Ethan. They couldn't bear the thought of this sweet little boy being moved from family to family. uncertain of his future. They were also greatly concerned about the level of quality care that he was going to get from some of the foster homes that were involved in these sorts of things. So in a moment of resolute clarity, they made a life-changing decision. They decided to become Ethan's parents. Unfortunately, it wasn't as simple as proclaiming their desire to parent the little boy. Instead, the legal process was complex and arduous, but David and Sarah persevered. Despite his medical issues and condition, they were determined to see the little boy live out his best life possible. After what seemed like an endless uphill battle, the adoption was eventually finalized. It was a happy occasion, a celebration of love, and an affirmation of the extraordinary journey that had brought them together. Even Ethan, though, was too young to even realize the situation, he was now officially their son, surrounded by a family and friends who rejoiced in his arrival. And Emma had a new brother, one who might not fit in so easily like her, and one who might not judge her. As the years passed, Ethan's life was filled with warmth and happiness. He was not defined by his condition, but by the love of his parents and sister. With the unwavering support of David and Sarah, he thrived, defying the odds and embracing life with a sense of wonder. The little boy's zest for life and resilience even had a positive and long-lasting impact on his sister Emma, who came out of her shell after they built a strong bond. Emma could see how different her brother was and how he didn't let that stop him. And she learned a lot from him. And Ethan's difference meant that he was always patient and understanding with his sister, never rushing her or forcing her to conform to what people expected. The two became inseparable in some ways. Emma became Ethan's eyes, and Ethan became Emma's link to the world. Ling's rare medical condition became a symbol of his uniqueness, a testament to his resilience and a reminder that love could conquer the most extraordinary challenges. Through the use of modern innovation and creation, they were able to get Ethan devices to help him excel in school and even on the sports field. While Ethan was acutely aware of his differences, thanks to the support of his parents, he didn't have to focus on how they made his life difficult. As for his birth family, he never really got in touch with them. David tried his best to uncover Ethan's birth mother, but it was almost as if she had just disappeared off the face of the earth. They put up a campaign together to try and find his birth family, but proved to be fruitless. While David deeply resented Ethan's mother for abandoning him like she did, he couldn't help but be grateful that he had Ethan in his life, which would not have been possible if things hadn't unfolded like they did. But he did want Ethan to possibly know his origins. Perhaps when he's older, he might be able to find his birth family if he wants to. But Ethan's story became an inspiration to those who had the privilege of knowing him. It was a reminder that love knew no bounds, that the definition of family extended beyond bloodlines and genetics. In the arms of David and Sarah, Ethan had found his forever home, and in their hearts, he had found unwavering love. As they looked back on the extraordinary journey that had brought them together, David and Sarah knew that they had been given a precious gift in Ethan. They had found the son who had touched their lives in ways they never could have imagined. What do you think of the mother's actions? Was she justified in abandoning the sweet child because of his condition? Would you have adopted a child like this? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.